The wings was called suicide wings.
Change is the only constant.
Life is not fair.
Hi, welcome to SG Now. I'm Sharda Harrison. I'm so excited today because 2023 is just over the horizon. I can almost touch it and give it a big hug. But it's also kind of really surprising that the year went by so fast. A lot of changes has happened, like COVID-19 and the loosening of restrictions. And I think it's very good to kind of have a year in review and, you know, find out what were some of the highlights or some of the low moments of this year. So what is the best way to do that? To invite all the CityJos into the studio. We've got CityJos Dharmic, we've got Carson, Belinda and Bruce in the house. And, you know, I remember like meeting all of you one by one when we were doing Singapore One SG Now Season 1. So I would sit here in this studio and I would see all of you on video and watch your stories, but I had never met you, you know, until then I finally met you one by one, and whew, it's been a party ever since, I feel. So do you come up with your own stories? How is it like?
Searching for stories is always a very interesting and adventurous thing to do. Riley, for example. The story?
Riley?
Yeah, Riley. The girl.
singer?
No, the girl that was thrown in the rubbish chute by her mother when she was like 5 years old.
Oh, that was
yes.
such a sad story. I remember
And
that.
the story of Warren Sheldon, the dude who has Maria-Charcot disease.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I remember those stories.
So stories like those, they really touch my heart.
Yeah.
What I want to do is to showcase the problems that they have with the hopes that it would reach out to a lot of people and that more help will be afforded to them.
Right.
The whole of this year, actually, I concentrated on something which I always wanted to do. And I'm talking about entertainment. Because we didn't have that, you know, all along when we joined in our CityJos.
Yeah.
And I know I've got all my colleagues that are doing different things, community work and what have you. But where entertainment is concerned, there wasn't anything at all. Like, you know, going back to the days when he was a singer or she was an entertainer, that kind of thing. And I want to bring them back, you know, let the people know, not only in Singapore but around the world. But these are the people who made Singapore proud way back in the late 50s, 60s, 70s, and even the 80s.
Searching for stories is actually, for me, it's very spontaneous, I guess. Sometimes I have no clue what I'm going to do. I hear what ideas other people have. So it can be something like, oh, there's this engineer who's doing VR and AR art, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That sounds like something I like. Then on the other hand, there's stuff like, oh, a group of runners that are all Indians. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, why only Indians? That kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I want to know.
So you're asking the difficult questions, right?
I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's more like I just find things that I consider intriguing, and then I go for those.
Very interesting. Okay. And last but not least, we have the lovely Carson. Love what you do what you love.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
How do you select your stories?
Okay, so I remember my very first story that I tried to do. I was in the void deck and somebody called me from afar and said, "Carson." I looked, oh dear, Pastor, what are you doing here? and he asked me, what are you doing here? I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I was covering a story, I don't know how to cover it, right? So anyway, from then on, he introduced me and said, hey, you want to cover some stories for me? And you know, from there, it went on and it got bigger and bigger. It was a whole learning journey for me, you know, and as I push my boundaries a little bit, I get a little bit more comfortable being out of the comfort zone.
So let's talk about some of the highlights. But before that, we've got quite a few shows, yeah? We've got Singapore One, right, which is the overarching, our channel. We've got SG Now. We've had SG Now in Season 1 and Season 2. Change formats. On Season 2, all of us have been on this show. We've interviewed some awesome people. I think my favorite is still Professor Tommy with Dharmic. And then watching Dharmic, both of them debate different points of view about, the ends of the spectrum of what we talk about being people considerate in Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about that. And that was a really intense but fun and enjoyable interview, yeah. Then we've also got all the CityJos stories where you all go out there into the street, you get stories. And then we've got When We Were Young, which is still one of my favorites. Anyway, let's talk about...
Can I interrupt,
Sure.
I think one thing which I really learned a lot, as CityJos is that all of us are able to bond together.
Yeah.
We did a very good program. I don't know whether you guys remember. It's called what? Bedok Heartbeat.
I remember that.
Yeah, all of us went out there, covering specific angles and departments that they had there. And we really enjoyed it. We covered things like sports, which was under Carson, and you had to cover...
I did like the community exercise.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did the library.
Yeah, exercise which you just sat down there. Hi, 1, 2, 3, 4. Others were jumping there. You sit
He
there and
was
watch.
using his, I give you one
Rah,
tight
rah.
slap. I give you one tight slap. What did Bruce cover?
Me, I covered one of the most important aspect of Heartbeat at Bedok.
Of course.
Active health. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. To find out how mobile, heart, blood pressure,
Yeah.
heartbeat, everything.
Yeah.
Okay or not okay, go there, check it out. For the discounted price of $5. Yeah, very cheap, discounted, yeah.
Good. Okay, let's go on to what were some of your favorite stories? Carson, we'll start with you. What was some of your favorite? What was your favorite? Okay, could only answer one.
One.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, I was going to give you a whole series.
Favorite is
but
one,
since
right?
we're
Favorite
talking
is
about
one.
Heartbeat, so I think that was my first favorite, right?
What is first favorite? Got no first, second
Okay,
favorite.
that was
huh?
my favorite then, yeah. I actually got to interview Senior Minister Tan Kiat Hao.
Wow.
And that was really fun. And you learn a lot of things about ministers. And the first thing that really touched me is that he's like a real person, Usually you see ministers, they're on TV and all that. And he's got a young son, and we can relate when we talk about sons.
Oh.
And the best part of it all, at the end of the interview, we got to play badminton together.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was so fun. We went upstairs and we were challenging other people to play badminton. Yeah. But we won, of course.
I thought you were against him.
No, Minister and I were partners.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was nice. I think basically when you are playing sport, the real you comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got to see the real me. I got to see the real him. And it
Very
was fun.
nice.
It was really fun.
Good.
Yeah.
And Dermot, what about you?
Okay, since we are forcing the one story,
Yes.
then it will be Singapore Spirits 3.
Wait, it was the Singapore.
Singapore Spirits, the 4 videos I did, those are the most enjoyable videos, I'll say.
Why was it so enjoyable? So wait, you did spirits, right? So it's like gold.
National Day songs first.
What is it? What?
National Day songs.
National
I
Day
was his
song.
co-conspirator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's so fun, because I got to hang out with the different CityJos, work on the videos. So for the first one, which was Singapore, the NDP songs, I worked with Bruce. Then the second one is the only one I didn't really have a partner for the video. It's about National Day Parade.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Then I had a third video, which was Singapore Spirits, as in gin, the Tanglin gin. So
You see how he's smiling extra wide when he says gin? He's like,
Why,
Singapore's with gin? Gin?
Gin,
Gin,
very
huh?
good.
Hey, tani kiri kiri ya. Hey, tambe.
Yeah, I got to hang out with CityJos Justin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the first time I got to work on a video with him.
Yeah.
And it was very fun, I'll say. And finally, I got to work with Javis from behind the scenes on Singapore Spirits 4.
Javis has been on our show for SG Now. Yeah.
Yep.
It was with you talking about,
About debts.
about debts. Yeah.
Gambling.
No, gambling.
Oh, gambling. Sorry.
I've done, quite a bit, I would say, but I would still think my favorite is When We Were Young, because
Yeah.
all of us one day will be also saying, when we were young. What do you do, Bruce, when you were young? What do you do? What do you
Yeah.
do? And what do you do?
I actually really love the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good,
It's a good
because it sort of
title.
encapsulates
Yeah.
everything, what you do when you're young, whether
Yeah.
you're famous or not.
Bruce,
Yes.
what's your favorite one?
The Go Bros.
Oh,
I
good.
Go
Go
Bros?
Bros series where
Oh, the wrestling? No, sorry.
we did a few. We did a few.
Oh, okay.
So wrestling. We did what do you call that?
The hot wings challenge.
Hot wings. Yep. So hot wings. That one was my favorite. The wings was called suicide wings. You know, you have to sign a disclaimer, no?
Really?
That says, I kid you not, that after eating, if anything happens to you, they're not responsible. Because,
To your backside, because it's very hot. Lah.
no, because someone have tried eating the wings and they were hospitalized.
So I think that's kind of like wrapping up all the the highlights of the year, and it's interesting to know all our different highlights, and we all have different angles on what we enjoyed during the year.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to part 2 now, where we're going to discuss if anything in the year of 2022 has worried us or challenged us. So stay tuned for that.